Digital transformation is the key to the future of food and agriculture. Today on RDBA's The Morning Fix, we meet with Bayer and Microsoft, who have entered into a strategic partnership to optimize and advance digital capabilities for food, for feed, for fuel, and for the fiber value chain. And we will find out why and what that means for us all. Ranveer Chandra is the CTO of Microsoft Azure Global, where he's leading a team driving innovations across different industries. Ranveer started the FarmBeats project at Microsoft Research back in 2015 and has been leading it since. He was invited to the USDA to present his work on FarmBeats, including to the USDA Secretary. His work was also very proudly featured by Bill Gates in Gates Notes. Sachi Desai is a member of Bayer's corporate strategy and portfolio management organization and is focused on digital farming. He leads the development of platform strategy, forging alliances that bring new innovation to farmers who use Climate Field View, as well as digital partnerships across Climate LLC and Bayer, and the company's digital farming strategy. Gentlemen, welcome to The Morning Fix.
Hi, Phil.
Sachi, can you tell us a bit more about the Bayer-Microsoft partnership?
Sure. First, I want to just say I'm excited to be here with RDBA on The Morning Fix, and excited to talk with Ranveer about this. I think the friendship we forged about 4 years ago is the catalyst for a lot of what we ended up evolving into a partnership in a much more formal way. So late last year in the fall, Jeremy Williams of Bayer announced with Microsoft that we entered into a partnership to develop and commercialize a new set of solutions and capabilities to help the food and agricultural sectors. As you started this discussion, right, around the term digital transformation, it sounds like a catch-all and a boogeyman sometimes when you hear it. And what really we're laying out here is helping the industry with a set of tools to provide better services and better capabilities for farmers at the farm gate, where Bayer is primarily focused, but also to work with Microsoft to help support the entire industry across the full value chain to digitize, to meet the needs of a growing world and the new demands of a growing world, to be more sustainable in an optimized way.
So, Ranveer, I look at Microsoft, huge company. You guys have your fingers in just about everything. And at some point, you had to think about food. Why did you think about food? Why did you think about agriculture and how Microsoft should be involved? And tell me about your lens on this partnership.
Yeah, so Phil, thanks again for having us on the show. And it's great to see Sachi here. As Sachi mentioned, we've known each other for a while. So at Microsoft, we are building various tools and capabilities around data, around artificial intelligence, around technology, things like cloud, things like Internet of Things. And what we believe is that these technologies will shape the future of different industries, be it financial services, be it retail, be it energy, and agriculture and food. And as you know, agriculture and food is such a fundamental problem. The world needs more food to feed the planet. And it's not just about growing more food. We need to grow good, nutritious food. So then the question is, how do you grow all of this food without harming the planet? And towards that, at Microsoft, we have been working on bringing all the latest in technologies around data, around artificial intelligence to agriculture. And that is one of the projects which you mentioned, FarmBeats, was about that. But as we started building these capabilities around digital agriculture, we realized that it is the basis of many other industries, like, for example, CPG companies and retailers. They would benefit from knowing more about how the food was grown. Consumers would benefit because consumers want to make sustainable choices as well. Farmers would benefit through these digital tools. And that was the basis of this partnership with Bayer. That is, we are not an agricultural company, Microsoft, but we build tools for our partners, in this case, with Bayer Corporation. And in particular, as part of this partnership, what we are looking to do is to work with mutual customers to identify the workloads that can be transformed with cloud and AI. And we want to bring the right partners together to enable this transformation of the workloads. And what we'll do is once we've come up with that, we'll work with Bayer to commercialize these solutions. So if you think of what this partnership would enable, is it will help our partners, our customers, build on a standardized platform, things that Bayer and us are building together. It will help them outsource most of the components. For example, how do you get all of this data in one place so that they can then focus on this differentiated capability of building their AI, of building their insights on top. As part of this partnership, we are also very excited to bring the latest in technology that we are building at Microsoft. Think of new cloud technologies, new Internet of Things technologies, so that you can get data, customers can get data that they didn't have before, and we bring it with the agricultural expertise at Bayer to the entire agricultural community.
So, Sachi, I want to build on something that Ranveer mentioned about consumers. Consumers, especially since the pandemic, want to know much more about their food, where it comes from, everything about food. They never heard the term supply chain before the pandemic. Now they're insisting to know everything about it. What's Bayer's vision for this partnership? Where can you take this and bring it down to the consumer?
Yeah, I think pandemic highlights a few things, as you mentioned, right? Knowing where your food comes from because of the supply chain shock that we saw in the pandemic, becoming more cognizant of where our products come from and more cognizant of what's in it. We want more, right? And we believe we deserve more now with being able to look up, book a car from my phone or book a ticket from my phone. Like, why can't I know where my corn, ethanol, food, et cetera, have come from? And so what we really want to do, and when we see what this vision, as Ranveer was saying, is the ag industry, the food value chain, from the farm gate all the way to the end consumer, should all be connected. There's no reason it can't. It's all digitized in some fashion. So our goal is to empower that entire value chain, empower every point of significance there, from the farmer to the supplier to the processor, and et cetera, to be able to inform that value chain, be able to make a decision on it, and that in the long term, be able to give all that information that's most critical to a consumer making a decision. So if you want to purchase a food item, let's say a granola bar, you should be able to know where your ingredients for that granola bar came from. You should be able to understand how sustainably produced that granola bar was, and you can make your decisions you want. And so, as Ranveer said, we're looking to provide the building blocks where Microsoft's world-class digital delivery and engineering, paired with Bayer's world-class agronomics and agricultural competency, are put together to provide the tools to allow the folks across this industry and value chain to make that vision reality. There's no reason the farmer, who's already very advanced in digitizing all their information, cannot participate more downstream, right, and help a consumer make a better decision, make a more sustainable choice, or make a more informed decision on where their crop comes from, or their product they're eating comes from, et cetera. And so we're working together to build that vision. As we laid out, we were both on this journey separately, right? So Ranveer mentions some of the work Microsoft was doing, and we were, with the purchase of Climate LLC about 9 years ago, we also were set off on a digital journey in ag. And over the course of that time, a lot of startups came into the space, a lot of work has happened, but not at the pace you see in some other places for various reasons. And so the combination of both of us, we believe we can help accelerate that and help lower the barriers so you can have more innovation occur by others that you don't necessarily see right now in the space, just because of the challenges you face from gathering the data, cleaning the data, et cetera.
So I think you mentioned this already, Sachi, but to be honest with you, and I know you guys are friends, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Why did you choose Microsoft with all the technology companies that are out there? And Microsoft certainly is one of the leading ones, if not the leader. But what made you choose, Microsoft as the partner to make this all happen?
So I think this is a really easy question to answer, actually. When we and maybe I'm being glib about this a little bit too much, but 4 years ago when I joined Bear, and we started having these conversations around what are we going to do? How are we going to accelerate our digital capabilities as Bear? We started talking to a lot of different entities. You could probably figure out who they are, various companies. And what became clear to us was not often was the vision they portrayed to us, or the way they wanted to work with us aligned with our own vision. It was necessary until we talked to Microsoft. That's when we spoke with Microsoft and they laid out the vision they see for agriculture, where they see agriculture heading, how they see Bear in that vision, how they see that they could work with Bear. It became clear we were already aligned before even really engaging or working together. So it made the decision to work together pretty easy, to be honest. We realized we share the same vision, which is we want to impact positively the farmer and the grower, which is core to our belief here at Bear. And Microsoft shared a similar vision that they want to make sure the customer is at the center of everything they do and every benefit they create. And so based on that, the technical stuff became a lot more easier to talk through because we were heading on the same road in the same direction. It was just now we've decided to be in the same car.
So, Ranveer, I'm going to ask you to build on that. What does Sachi and Bear bring to the party for Microsoft?
Yeah, and as Sachi said, for us too. So, as I had mentioned earlier, Phil, Microsoft is not an agriculture company. Even though we have been doing farm beats and working with farmers, we are not the agricultural experts. We needed to work with a company that knew about agriculture. And in this case, that's what we do, even with different industries. If you look at how we're working in retail and in financial services and other industries, we work with partners who know a lot about that industry, and we are building the tools for that industry. It was the same case here where Bayer knows a lot about agriculture. They are the largest input company. Climate Corp was the first ag tech unicorn. It also has more than 180 million acres under management. Bayer works with multiple suppliers and customers. And at Microsoft, if we have to really make a difference in agriculture, in the future of food, fiber, fuel, and feed, we have to work with the leader in this space, and that is Bayer. So that's why we are super excited about bringing the depth of expertise, not just in the Bayer technical side, but the Bayer sales management. It's an all-up partnership with Microsoft if we have to make a real difference in this space. And that's what made it clear that we have to partner with Bayer if we have to make progress in this future of food.
Now, Ranveer, you mentioned that whole supply chain. Let's bring it down to grocery retail. What are the benefits of everything that we're talking about to that, grocer, if you would, as they're putting products on the shelf?
Yeah, and so grocers would benefit a lot from this data-driven agriculture, and food supply chain. That is, when we think of the entire food supply chain, all the way from the farmer to the logistics companies, the warehouse companies, the distributors, the food manufacturers, the retailer, every entity in the food supply chain would benefit from data and data-driven insights. They would improve their efficiencies. But if this data could be shared across the food supply chain, it would light up new insights that didn't exist before, and new business models, new scenarios, which would impact the downstream users, the grocery retailers, the consumers, much more. For example, there are many new scenarios that could be lit up. One of them is around transparency, food transparency. You can do track and trace. When there is an outbreak, you can know where that food came from, and you can issue a recall much more efficiently. It would light up new scenarios around sustainability, the thing that Sachi was mentioning. That is, consumers and even retailers and food manufacturers can know where did that food come from, how much water was used, whether it was sustainably produced, what was the emissions, how much carbon was sequestered. All of that information can now be gathered by a consumer. In fact, you could go a step more around nutrition. That is, as many of us know, the nutrient content of the produce, of the things we eat, depends a lot on how it was grown. The unfortunate thing is right now we don't get that information. Once you start making the entire supply chain more digital, the farm gate more digital, you can start lighting up all of these scenarios. And so that's why we are very excited about the impact of this partnership on the entire food supply chain, in particular with the grocers, with the retailers, with the consumers, because they then can start adding much more value-added services on top of the products that they sell, and the consumers can know a lot more about the food that they consume.
So, Sachi, our audience, retail dietitians, are at every retailer, every grocery retailer, every drug retailer, every mass market retailer in the nation and in Canada. As they're listening to this, I'm sure their ears are perking up and they're saying, I want to know more. So how can they learn more and how can they get involved in this?
So they can reach out to me or my counterparts at Microsoft. So I can provide my email address, sachi.desai@bayer.com. As Ranveer said, there's a lot of opportunity here, and we're just at the early stages of that race.
So, gentlemen, thank you for being on the Morning Fix this morning, and thank you for helping food and agriculture reach to the next level. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Phil.